Select broadcasting start stream. We posted it in Traumatized Tribe 2 and in our server already.
Brinkover.
Mm-hmm.
I try to remember what the fuck I'm doing.
So I don't think Bug's gonna be able to talk about the little, so she's trying to leave. I can talk about him. I'm good. It's Kalina. No, you're even better. Patton walked into the front.
Here we go.
Oh, hello.
Howdy.
I haven't been to the front really in a minute. Besides when Source is on.
Yes.
I don't mind when Source isn't on.
I don't know who's hunting for us. It's somebody. Frankie will probably be here at some point because she's the one that handles the kids.
That's fair. I'll turn you up a little bit. Little bit. Just a little bit. Hey, Wooter. Alright. Sick.
Let me see where.
Fair enough. Bring a bois. It's still Patton, but bring a bois.
I feel that.
Oh, okay. They're not gonna front, but they're gonna sit around me and give me their thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
There was a group of children.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is our time. Even if we're not allowed to claim it. I'm like, alright. I'll be the communicator for the children. I will be the communicator for the children.
I'm the Lorax. I speak for the children.
Speak for the trees. If you pollute, I'll break your fucking knees. It's like one of my favorite memes. I don't know. I love it.
I am the Lorax. I speak for our knees. Ah!
That's a mood. Alright.
Who's doing the intro this week?
Me.
Okay, swag.
It's an odd number. That's how I keep track of it. It's odd number is me, even number is you. Because I did the first one.
That's a good way to do it.
Because I did the first one. That's how I remember it. So odd numbers are me, even numbers are you. I'm actually gonna post on Twitter.
Oh, that'd be a good idea.
Copy the link from Discord in a moment. Copy link. Please let me copy link. Copy link. Alright, sick. I'm gonna go post on Twitter. What is this, 25? 25.
X.
Swag.
This way our Twitter followers know that we're co-hosts.
Mood. Sick. I don't know who the fuck I am right now. I'm just goofing. I'm goofing and gaffing.
Yet.
I'm just goofing and gaffing.
Somebody. It's like who needs to know who you are?
Mood. Suck. Alright, we will get started with the podcast here in a moment. We just do like a little banter with chat and stuff first. So if you guys are in chat, come say hi. And talk with us for a little bit before we get started. We will read chat and stuff during, but we may not like read it out loud, but I will be paying attention to chat and reading it.
Yeah.
If we read it out loud, it was either really funny or pertained to the conversation in a meaningful way. So yeah, that's just kind of the gist of what's going on.
Yeah, this is the fun little it used to be Twitch exclusive, but since we now stream on YouTube, everybody gets that. But the fun little pre-podcast banter, the fun little.
Yeah, it's so fun. It's so fun. All right. Squeak. I need to get some WD-40 for my mic arm or something. It just goes squeak. Squeak.
There is. This is what you mean by a gaggle of children all saying, if we can't front, we're at least going to tell you what we want to say.
Yep. It's great. I at least see 4 that are actually actively going to participate, and then like 10 that are watching. You know, middles probably deserve their own episode. We should probably do that too. Can you put that in the in the thing? Because I can't. Because I am capturing my screen at the moment. Sick. Thank you.
Swag.
Thank you very much.
Mums sure hate me.
Mood. It's bad that I'm pretty sure the one concurrent viewer is you.
Yeah. So I can keep an eye on chat.
That's fair. At least I know you're not going to leave. All right. We did announce this. Let me actually ping podcast population again and actually say.
let me
just say we are live. I did it on my phone.
Alright, swag. Also let them know in traumatized tribe.
Sick.
Because I was only a little late. Only just a tiny bit.
No,
late.
it was fine.
Supposed to start.
It was fine. It wasn't too bad. That's why I tried calling you to wake you up to see if you were awake.
I didn't hear it. I don't know what woke me up, but I was just like, look at phone. Oh, it's time. Oops.
Whoopsie-daisy. Did you sleep through your alarm or something? Or did you forget to set one?
I set my alarm. I woke up to my alarm.
And the next night,
And then I
asleep.
continued to lay down.
Oh, rip.
Like a smart person.
Rip.
And fell asleep again.
That's so funny. I love that. It's so funny.
I'm very smart.
I do that too. It's fine. I do that too. Alright. I think we are going to get started. So, hello everybody and welcome to the DIDIOTS podcast, episode 25, and we are talking about littles or child alters. Woot, 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 woot.
Woo!
They are vital to how systems function. Like, not every system is going to have a little, but like those who do, they're very imperative to functioning.
I've
only met like a couple systems that don't have littles.
Yeah, and yeah, I'd say most systems
have at least one,
or have even had a little, like either have or has had a little.
Yeah.
Because this is a disorder that forms in childhood from repetitive childhood trauma.
Right.
What's a symptom of trauma, everybody? Reliving the trauma. What does reliving trauma mean in a DID or OSDD system? That's a whole ass nother person.
Yup. And it can be a child. Like, a trauma happened when we were 9. She developed at age 9 and has since aged up to 10. She's still around that age. Like, shit happens.
One of our most prominent alters, who's in the front almost daily, is 4 years old.
That's a mood.
And
that's how it was.
Smart.
Our first alter we found was a kid.
Our second alter that we found is an age slider, and when she first fronted, she was like 5 or 7.
Mm-hmm. Welcome in. But yeah, so like the first alter we found, and we will name him because he's he knows how to behave on social media and stuff like that. And his name is Shane. He split due to a trauma we had in 2018, and he was a very obvious split. He was the first alter we found. But we have found others that had come earlier. Obviously, we had a lot of childhood trauma. But when we found Shane, we thought it was just him and our host Carter. And for a while, it was just the two of them. And so it was just easy. It was just, a big and a little. Like, it was super easy to manage. And he was super vital to how he functioned. Like, if we couldn't be little, like, at night, he would get, like, upset, and we would kind of get physically upset and, like, stuff like that. And it's just, it's really crazy, to, not, like, crazy bad, like, but it's really interesting to see, like, how we've grown as a system, because back then, we were absolutely okay being little. All the time. And stuff like that. And it was just... Now, for some reason, like, we figured out why, but we've been feeling guilty for feeling little, and that's not something that, is necessarily good, because littles are necessary for us to function. But
littles are a very important part of the system. Oh, sorry, I just got startled by my voice because it doesn't usually sound like this.
That's fair.
But I was, again, the second alter to come forward. I am a teenager most of the time nowadays. But when I first started showing up, I was really little.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a time, especially right at the beginning of finding the system, when Tia was getting told that she was lying about everything, that she wasn't around for a couple days.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to be the one to kind of take control and make sure
Mm-hmm.
we were doing everything that we needed.
Right. And, like, our littles commonly, like, we had a little front for the first time, and the first thing she did, she saw that the cat boxes were dirty, and she cleaned them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's, like, little shit like that they do for us, and it's so fucking sweet. Like, it's so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, because, like, we've had littles that want to do chores, and so they do, like, did the dishes for us or something like that. And because we had at one point we had two of our littles, Shane and someone else, had fused and became Kelly, and she was a bit older. She was more of a middle, and she would help with chores all the time and stuff like that. And we were so grateful for her because we weren't able to do it. And
Yeah.
and like, unfortunately, that fusion broke apart, but we have Shane and we have the other one back.
Mm-hmm.
Most of our littles I'm not going to name, but Shane I will, because he knows how to behave on social media.
There is, I think, I don't necessarily view myself, because I'm an age slider, I don't really view myself all the time as a little.
Mm-hmm.
Which can also be really frustrating when you're an age slider who's like slides between 7 and 17.
Mm-hmm.
And then don't treat an age slider like they're their youngest age when they're not their youngest age.
Yeah.
Because I would be treated like a 7-year-old by other people. And it's like, I'm 17 at the moment.
Right.
That's another thing, like, especially when it comes to littles, is like, yeah, the littles are, a lot of them you should treat like they're, the thing about littles is that they have the emotional capacity of children, but they have
like the logical capacity of someone older.
the logical capacity of an adult. They can logic things out like an adult.
Right. And that's why littles in systems ask such complicated fucking questions.
Right.
Why do they ask such complicated fucking questions? Oh my gosh. Sorry, that I just had to. There's just, if my IRL children, when I have them, ask me this complicated of questions, I'm gonna freaking scream.
They will.
I'm gonna cry. It's fine.
Yeah, because little alters are, whoa. There's too many people in the front.
Yeah, I felt that.
Most of them are kids. Guys, settle down.
I felt that. I need to breathe. Alright.
So I feel like we have, because of that kind of duality of littles, like, again, because it is still important to be nice to littles. Mm-hmm. Don't be a dick to littles. That's a kid.
We actually, in our headspace, have a contract between the persecutors and the council that was written before the system was even knew about.
Mm-hmm.
And it is that the persecutors do not go near the littles. Do they obey that contract? Not always. And it pisses people off.
Mm-hmm.
But the council's, like, working on it, and so are other people, and Some of the persecutors are working with other persecutors and shit like that. But we literally have a contract where the persecutors cannot send images to the front when there's a child. Because they don't need that. Because a lot of our littles are trauma holders and they already have their own intrusive thoughts. Like, they don't need that on top of it.
And that's another thing I want to get into, is that little is not necessarily being alter being a little can be their role entirely, but littles can also have secondary roles like protectors, persecutors,
emotional protector. We have seen little gatekeepers. It's really funny, actually. We
have one gatekeeper who looks like a little, talks like a little, acts like a little, insists she's not a little, and is a gatekeeper.
Yeah, she's a child. I say that every time you bring her up. But it's just like, I don't know. People make fun of littles so much, and it pisses me off, and that's part of why I like.
Right? Littles,
and that's part of
so
why like I'm not
hate.
letting my littles front. Is because I'm not giving specifically fake disorder cringe. Hi, if you're watching. I'm not giving them little fodder.
Because
my
like
kids don't need that.
Biggest things that, you know, people with this disorder get hate on for is things that the littles do. Because it's the littles. One thing that I see all the time is like an actual child doesn't talk like this. The littles talk in uwu baby speak because it makes them comfortable, not because that's how we actually talk as a little kid.
Right.
It helps them differentiate themselves as younger, as a child.
Right.
And that's why they do it. At least in our system.
Especially, but the thing is with littles that pisses me off, what people say, is when they're like, so you're saying trans age is a thing? No, I'm saying I fucking dissociate, and people are different ages. We understand we have the body of a 21-year-old. But at that moment, we have the mentality of a kid. Some of our littles, I'm going to admit, some of our littles like smoke and vape because they have the emotional capacity to. Some of them don't, so they do not do those things. But if they're self-aware, our littles swear. Our littles do a lot of shit that a normal kid wouldn't do because they have a different emotional capacity than a kid. But they're not entirely. They're a dissociated part. They're not a kid.
Yeah.
But
it's
they, like, don't get me wrong, they have the mentality of a kid in a lot of aspects, but they're not a kid. They know they're in an adult body.
Yeah, that's why ages is such like a complicated thing.
Right.
When it comes to system, because, and that's why we always say like, oh yeah, we always make sure to clarify with people, the body is 25. Alters can be different ages than the body. Because they're dissociated parts, and they literally, again, have like
what we say is like
the age that they are.
What we say is like if we had our own body, we would be this age.
Yeah.
Like if we had our own body, this is what we would look like. This is what we would be. That's how we explain it to people. Is if I had my own body, this is who exactly I would be. Because a lot of us wouldn't be this.
None of us would look like this body if we had our own, because not even our host identifies completely with the body.
Yeah, our host's hair is different, but he identifies mostly with the body. But I don't know, it's super weird. And people just hate on it, but like child parts are used in DID media as tropes. Hawaii Five-O being the most horrible example of which. I will bring it up every time because fuck that show for doing that.
Yeah.
If you are triggered easily, do not look up the scene.
Mm-hmm. I know. Apparently, in the sequel, I'm only saying this based on what I've heard. I have not actually seen this movie, but I think in the sequel to Split, I think it's called Glass. But the character with DID is still there, and it delves a little more into the parts, as well as like even the fucking guy from Split has a child alter. And it's like, you really gonna fake... Oh my god, I just remembered another thing that people fake claim littles for literally all the time, is a little knowing their sexuality or gender.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like,
I knew the host. I knew I was some form of queer in 4th fucking grade. I was 9. Fuck off.
He's really good at taking the front, so we almost just took it for a second until he realized, wait, no, not allowed. But, you know, our little that is in the front all the time is 4 years old, and he knows he's a little boy.
Yeah.
His source may be a girl, but we didn't know that growing up.
And Shane split off of Carter, who is a trans man, and so that's how he identifies, because he split off of Carter. And so he's a young trans boy. But people will fake claim the fuck out of that.
And it's like, singlet kids can know they're trans at a young age.
Right.
So can cis kids.
Right.
And not only that, especially system kids can know they're trans.
Because we have a different concept of gender, you know?
Yeah.
Systems have a weird concept of gender.
That's another, I feel like, topic we should touch on for an episode.
I'm gonna...
Gender and systems.
I'll
send that.
I can do it. I got it on my phone.
Alright.
Cool.
Cool. Swagalicious.
Sick. But, Bringle Blah. We've said a lot in 28 minutes.
Yeah. Because littles is like an important topic, honestly. Because
it is.
Again, they're an important part of a system. Because especially, and it can be so healing to let the kids, you know, have, when you have this disorder, again, it's one that comes from repetitive childhood trauma.
Right.
And so oftentimes people with this disorder, they feel like they don't have a childhood, either because they didn't remember it or because it was so shitty.
Right.
Because of what they went through.
Right.
So, like, it can be so healing and so good for, like...
And that's why age regression is a coping mechanism. But we just age regress to a dissociative extent.
Like, it's a very healing thing to let the kids have fun and be kids.
Right.
That's why we spoil the littles a lot. That's why I have, like, little
I wish we had
toys.
the means to spoil our littles more.
I know if
it may or may not be because it's the one that's allowed to front. And I'm biased because I want more shit. I might co-con with Carter. It's fine. I'm allowed to be up here. I'm the only one who is. Because I'm allowed. Because I know how to act on social media. but Carter is watching me.
I've got a little dog boy standing like right here.
Mm-hmm. That's part of why I'm like masking, so it doesn't trigger anyone out. But I can mask really well because I've fronted at work before.
I feel we have like kind of a complicated relationship with whether or not we want our littles to be active online, because I know most of them don't really have an interest in it.
Oh, we do friends only.
Mm-hmm.
They let some of us do friends only.
The main thing, I feel like one of our littles wants to make a Minecraft Let's Play.
Oh yeah, that would be hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
They could post it
pretty
unlisted.
adamant about. Yeah, he's pretty adamant about, because he's very secure in the fact that he knows who he is, and he doesn't need anyone's approval,
right,
to be who he is.
Right. That makes sense.
But we're also worried about him because, you know, he's little baby boy, and we love and protect our littles.
Absolutely. Like, honestly, we mostly front to help us sleep. Because we fall asleep easier.
Mm-hmm.
Partly because the persecutors leave us alone. But we go to sleep easier. So we just front a lot to go to sleep. And so we'll like put on a movie or music or something. And then cuddle a stuffed animal and go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
But because we're so busy, we don't really get a lot of the time right now, which is kind of unfortunate.
Our littles end up doing a lot of helping a lot out with like kind of our daily life, because whenever we do grocery shopping, because the littles have an easier time walking around because of our legs. Most of the littles, it doesn't affect them nearly as much, and so they like to be the ones to do the grocery shopping because it helps them. They say it helps them feel helpful, and they like to do it.
Yeah,
and they're very responsible about. They know not to, just buy a bunch of candy.
Yeah, ours are not responsible.
I remember we told our therapist that, oh yeah, the littles are the ones that do the grocery shopping, and she was like, How?
Yeah, how? We could never.
And then
I'm pretty sure we were involved in the $75 at Walmart thing. So I don't know. It is what it is.
They also like to help because we have to clean up the front office at work a lot, like every night, and so they like to help do that.
Yeah, like I like to help at work sometimes, because I can do work. There's gonna be wee woos going by. I hear the wee woos. But like some of the other littles will do housework and stuff like that. But it's because we don't get a lot of time that it's not really happening. Or else we would. Because it's like, I mean, now that we found out why we've been feeling guilty for being little, maybe we will be little more often. It was because of a specific altar. I'm not going to explain really much about it on stream.
Yeah.
But like one specific altar was like causing the guilt for all of the littles, and it was like spreading throughout the system, and it was just like a thing. The wee woos.
The wee woos.
I love living on a main road. Please note the sarcasm. Oh, it's Kalina again. Okay. Alright, but yeah, like, me and Patton, like, help take care of the kids in the inner world. We have some other people who do, too. like we have them like standing kind of in the front as well, kind of watching the kids, kind of, you know how like teachers stand along the walls during assembly.
Yeah.
Um, just like watching the kids, make sure they're not doing anything stupid. Um, but we, I don't know, we like play with them in the inner world. That's like what we do. We just have fun. That's their job. Their job is to have fun, regain the childhood that we didn't get.
Yeah.
And that's all we want. All we want is for them to have fun and to do fun shit.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them put other expectations on themselves, and that's okay. Some of them it's to an unhealthy extent, and then we step in.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, it happens. Squeak.
Squeak. Whoa.
But, I don't know, Bringo Blonde, we still have, like, a little bit.
Yeah, I feel that. Do you ever dissociate and cross your eyes and then start hallucinating?
Not the hallucinating part. Well...
I just see fun things when I cross my eyes sometimes. It's fine.
I mean, I do see shit out of the corner of my eyes a lot.
Well.
I need water. Alright.
I don't know.
But yeah, littles. They're very vital. They're very vital to how a system
They really are.
Yeah. Like, they do a lot. They heal a lot of emotional issues because they let you be happy and they let you do shit you couldn't do. Just like
when we were in the psych ward,
and...
one of our littles was really active because he was like, okay, well, we're obviously not doing too great right now emotionally, so I want to be in the front to be able to help everybody feel better emotionally.
And that's kind of how it was with Shane after he split. Is he was there to help Carter emotionally after what happened. And the other littles were like fronting, and then we just thought it was Shane. So most of the littles had fronted and then realized who they were later. But it's, I don't know, it's super weird. But it was like it's like we thought we were age regressing, and then we found out that it was someone else because he was like, I don't want to be called Carter anymore. I want to go by Shane. And we're like, fucking all right. And we went to our therapist. We had a friend who was a system and was like, hey, that sounds like a system thing. You should probably talk to your therapist. And my therapist was like, okay, tell me when you start having memory gaps. Yeah, more people started showing up, and the memory gaps happened, and then more and more people started showing up, and the memory gaps get worse. We can't remember shit.
Our memory is... we don't talk about it. Our memory is definitely perfect, and we...
I do think you have DID and not OSDD, but that's a whole other thing.
That's the fun thing about this disorder is that, in all honesty, it needs to be labeled as a spectrum.
Yeah.
Because it's a goddamn spectrum, and there's every system is going to be different from every other system. There can be commonalities, but there's always going to be unique things about system functionality where every system is its own thing, because every system developed to go through a specific, unique situation.
Right. And, like, we have littles who are, like, protectors, and littles who are trauma holders, and littles who are emotional protectors, and some are all of the above, or whatever. So it's like, but we're just trying to make it to where they don't have to have the secondary role anymore, to where their role is just to be little.
Yeah.
And have it that way. And do that, but... And I do want to give them more time, and our therapist wants us to give them more time. But it's very hard to. Because busy.
Gotta love it. Woo!
It's so fun. It's so fun.
I don't know. It's somebody. It's somebody. That's fine. It's fine.
Everything's fine.
Everything is all good.
Everything is Gucci. It's a few people. I don't fucking know, dude.
It's we're moving. We're talking. It's all good.
That's fair. But littles are littles are great.
Littles are fantastic. We love and appreciate our littles.
Yeah.
Because again, like, it was one of our littles that handled. Honestly, she went through a fuck ton of a lot. When we were discovering the system. Because what had happened is we had found Vex. We had told people around us about Vex. We had to leave for a couple days to go visit family. And during that trip, we found Leah. So we came back. Leah tried to introduce herself and was immediately shot down. And it's like, that's another reason why I'm like, be nice to the fucking littles, because we've already had to deal with people being shitty to our littles.
Oh, same.
And it sucks.
Same.
It sucks really bad when people are shitty to the littles, because one, they split easier. We literally had someone yell at one of our littles and then she immediately split. And they're more sensitive because they're kids.
Right. Absolutely. It's making me sad because, like, I don't cherish my littles enough. I need to.
That's definitely something that, so...
It used to be a lot easier when it was just me and Shane. It was a lot easier when it was just me and Shane. To just cherish being little and doing that and having fun and doing whatever. Because our roommate was never home. We lived in a dorm room. We didn't really have any friends. And then the one friend we did find, she let him front in front of her. And so it was great. And we had, like, a caregiver for him. Like, and we had friends online and shit like that who knew. And we told some of our friends at college about it. And we told our mom. And our sister. And he was allowed to front around them. And it was easy.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I think the internet ruined us.
Yeah.
I think the internet ruined our mentality.
That can be one of the really difficult things about being a system and being active online, is that the unfortunate reality of it is that people are jerks.
Yeah.
People see this disorder and they go, that's too weird to be real. And they make fun of people for it because of being too weird. And it's like...
I've always been the weird kid. Why is it a fucking problem now?
Right? It's like, and what's so bad about being the fucking weird, being a little weird, being a little goofy?
Being a little goofy, wacky little guy. But, like, Little's just... Most of them, they're just sitting here in silence listening to us talk about them. They're not even interjecting in their thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Very constructive, thank you. They are kids. Because someone, like, raised their hand, and we were like, yeah, what do you want to say? And he said, beep beep boop boop. And I'm like, oh, yes, very constructive, thank you.
My immediate thought is that Axel has been spending too much time around the kids.
No, I think it's been fried chaos, to be honest. But also, we watched a lot of toilet humor as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
We grew up with all the 90s shows because we were a 2000 baby.
Yep.
So, we grew up with, like, Cat Dog and SpongeBob and like all the 90s shows. And so it was a lot of toilet humor. My cursor has been on the screen this whole time, and it's been right on your face.
Amazing.
I'm so sorry.
This is a professional podcast.
It's fine. It's Gucci. Everything is fine. I totally have not been live streaming for 2 years. Stop pinging me, places. I don't even have Discord open. But,
he needs thoughts. He needs to think.
Mood. But do you just want to wrap it up a little early and any final thoughts?
Yeah, I think we've really covered the basics of littles, that they're, important parts of the system. They come and they are important for healing and, system journeys and all that. And that, again, it's important to be kind to your littles. Don't be a dick to kids.
Right. Do not be a dick to my littles, or else you will deal with the wrath.
If you're a dick to the kids, you better be ready to face the fucking persecutors and protectors, because both of them will kick your ass.
Right. But anyway, have a great night, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. See y'all next week. We have a bunch of topics to choose from next week, so we will see.
Next week will be a very fun episode.
Next week will be very fun.
Next week will be a very special episode.
Oh yeah, next week we're live. Next week's the Q&A.
Yeah, next week we're having a Q&A, so if anybody has any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments or anything.
Yeah, in the comments or in Discord.
You can even contact us up on Twitter with the hashtag
DIDIOTS Q&A.
DIDIOTS Q&A, yeah.
Yep, DIDIOTS Q&A. We'll be checking that too. Yeah, so if you have any questions, just pop them wherever. You could fucking ask me on goddamn Tumblr. Don't ask me on Tumblr. I don't check my Tumblr.
We check our Tumblr. You should ask us on our Tumblr.
That'd be so funny if someone actually did. Alright, have a great night, y'all.